At this time, we're back. Eric DeSoap here, joined by Theo. Happy Halloween is when we're recording this one. Theo, did you do TFA?
I did. TFA DC09.
Oh, nice. Did you teach the little ones, the big kids?
I taught high school algebra and geometry.
Oh, wow. Okay, I taught fourth grade, so I can't imagine your life. Maybe you can't imagine my life either. Nice. And then you eventually kind of pivoted into talent in the ed space. Kind of talk me through where you ended up in DC.
Yeah, so I ended up in talent after my third year at TFA. I was thinking about and reflecting on my time in my school, which was an independent charter high school.
Okay.
And with that comes challenges, right? We don't have a feeder school. We don't have some of the kind of home office supports. And so when we lost teachers, backfilling teachers was really kind of networking and not necessarily uh, a strategic
Hmm.
process. And I wanted to figure out how do you actually go about doing that.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up in talent, moving to New York and joining Uncommon Schools.
Nice. And then what was the kind of biggest revelation moving into that world? Was it around network is the only way to go? Did you have to build some longer pipelines? What kind of things did you have to crash course yourself on?
Yeah, I think it was a mix of not only pipelines but also kind of selling your product, right? So we would go out to TFA regions or different conferences with leadership and have them actually deliver professional developments, and I think. That resonates with audiences to be able to see what it would be like to actually work with leadership at your network and to experience what does professional development look like. I think a lot of times teachers are looking for development, and to be able to authentically showcase what that looks like, I think is a win-win on both sides.
And I'm always curious for especially folks who went from the classroom to the recruitment world, which is similar for me as well. Did you ever get any formal training, or was it just kind of figuring it out as you go and maybe watching others? How did you sort of learn to be a recruiter, quote unquote?
Yeah, I feel like I was blessed in this regard. So
Hmm.
I learned from Kara, who was on your podcast.
Yeah.
She definitely gave us the foundations and the development in recruitment, the best practices, all of those things that I still use on the for-profit side today. So for me, I've heard of others kind of learning as they go, and I think that is a pathway for a lot of folks. But for me, I was able to come in as a associate director and really learn under Kara, and that was just a amazing opportunity.
Yeah. So talk me through the eventual move from the ed world into the world you're in now, which is for profit, and we'll talk a little bit more about specifics in a second. But what kind of things were you prioritizing in your life and your career that led you to make that change?
Yeah, I mean, professional development again, right? So for me, it was wanting to continue to develop in the kind of talent space more broadly, not just necessarily within recruitment,
Hmm.
but other components of HR. So I wanted to do that. I obviously wanted to pressure test and see how my skill sets translated from kind of the ed nonprofit world into the for-profit sector. And I think also for me, kind of work-life balance. I think everybody kind of post-pandemic was kind of thinking about what does that look like for them. And for me, at that point in time, it was, I kind of enjoyed working from home. And I had bought a house at that point. So the opportunity came across and it all aligned. And that's how I ended up in the seat that I'm in now.
How do you feel like you were able to successfully convince people in the for-profit world that your ed world experience and all those years in the classroom and recruiting in common other places would translate to outside of the ed world? I feel like I hear hesitation from folks who have only recruited in one sector trying to make a jump. What do you feel like made the case for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that it's easy to do. So I think that is one thing, and I think there are stigmas around work in nonprofit or government. Those trying to get into the for-profit space. Those are the things that you're pushing up against. I think for me, I think it's about really reflecting on your experiences and being able to um, think about how those skill sets and best practices translate to the work in the sector that you're trying to
Mm.
get into. So you have to do that work prior to an interview and really dig into how does my the work that I have done and the practices that I've learned truly translate without someone having to extrapolate that from me. I need to do that work ahead of an interview and ahead of, in truth, probably ahead of even applying, right? To really hone in on where you want to be
Yeah.
and being able to kind of do that upfront work to be able to sell those skill sets that you have.
Yeah. So give folks a scoop where you're working now and what it means. I was looking through it and I'd see word like fractional and these kind of pieces that folks may or may not know. Give folks a scoop.
Yeah, so I am the head of finance and talent at vChief. We're a fractional executive staffing firm. So the short here is that we work with leaders in startups, small businesses, nonprofits, definitely the ed world, where they need capacity. We have consultants at the executive level. So
Mm.
think chief of staff, COOs, CFOs, and are able to get folks in to be able to allow those leaders basically to do the work that they're best positioned to do and take some things off of their plate and allow these experts who have experiences in their sectors and in their expertise, allow them to do what they need to do in terms of projects and et cetera for those organizations or companies.
So the experts, do they agree to be exclusive with you so that if any time you ping them like, hey, I got an opportunity at this company, they're available to take it? Or can they kind of be their own free agents and they may work with your company or a different company for another thing? How does that work on their end?
Yeah, they're 1099, so we don't. So we're legally not able to make those type of stipulations, right? But they are in our talent pool, and they let us know kind of how many hours they have and kind of what they're interested in, and we basically kind of match make from there.
Interesting. And for you, what's the way to keep that pool fully stocked or engaged or warm? How do you kind of think through that from kind of talent cultivator lens?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something that we're thinking about constantly. But I mean, there's no shortage of just providing opportunities, right? And also development opportunities. So I think again, everyone's craving development, right?
Mm.
So we launched a consultant mastery series for
Hmm.
our consultants to help. A lot of them again are shifting into the consultant space for the first time,
Okay.
right? So going from employee to consultant is very different. So making sure that they have the tools that they need in order to successfully support clients is an important. It's important for them. It's also important for our business, right? In terms of client satisfaction. So, again, development, and I think that's one of the biggest ways that we keep our pool engaged.
When you're talking to somebody who maybe is entering the consultant world and trying to be one of these experts that you would send out to a company, what do you feel like are the one or two things that pop that get you excited this person would work? Are there any other kind of red flag answers or red flag traits that like, ooh, this actually might not be a great pivot for you?
Man, that's a really good question. Um, one of the things that I always want to hear and listen for is how they work with leaders who have differing work styles than they do. Not every client is going to be, easy, if you will,
Mm.
right? And so, how do you navigate, more challenging waters? Is a mindset and a skill set that I want to hear. Um, Second is, I want to see how engaging they actually are in the interview itself. We don't necessarily place a consultant with the client. The client interviews
Oh,
uh, a number of consultants, right? So your ability to woo a client is important to our business as well, right? In terms of closing that sale,
yeah.
and also for you to secure opportunities. And so, how you're able to engage and connect in a very similar format and how we're speaking is important because our work is primarily remote. So the interviews are going to be in this type of format. How engaging are you in a format like this?
Yeah. Last thing, if folks wanted to reach out to you and connect and hear more about your work or offer their services to you, what's the best way for them to make that happen?
Yeah, I definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn, Theo Smith, and also check out our website, vChiefs.com. And it'd be easy to find both in terms of clients, for potential clients for us, and also if you're interested in being in the talent pool.
Love it.
The
Yeah.
website is the best way.
Sounds good. We'll put all that in the episode description. Theo, thanks for coming on. Thanks everyone for listening. Catch us in all the places you get your podcast. And of course, catch Theo and I in Stunning 4K on YouTube. Enjoy your Halloween, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.